Hey everyone, John here. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my progress with my equity research report project. Um, yeah, it's coming along. I feel like last week I did a couple lives where I was trying to work on this project while being live. I did not get anything done. That's just straight up. It's kind of hard to talk to people and also work at the same time. I like to, how do I say it, get into flow state. And to get there, I kind of just listen to a good playlist and lock in. And it's hard to lock in while talking to people at the same time. So yeah, I'm going to figure out how I'm going to do that. But I think during those lives, I'll just be chatting, and I won't be working. Um, and I'll be sharing the code and presenting the code in an open format rather than working on code. I got a comment the other day. Why did I take the lives down? I just had to delete them from like powers beyond me. Trust me, like this. I am managed by somebody, and at the end of the day, that manager is basically telling me what to do. But don't worry. Moving forward, I'm going to like kind of make those lives a little bit better. But yeah, so what does the equity research report project look like right now? So this is what the output is looking like. This entire report is AI generated, and the way that I've have it set up is it uses a large language model specifically for certain sections. So certain sections would use let's say Gemini 1.5 Pro. Others would be using Gemini Flash Experimental. I've experimented with other LLMs like GPT-4o, GPT Turbo, just a bunch of random AIs. Like I have an AI collection. So I have an account with Anthropic. I have an account with Grok, GROQ, which is basically my Llama 3.5. I have so many different accounts with different large language models. These specific models that there's specific reports that I'm about to show are mostly generated with Gemini 1.5 Pro as well as Gemini 2.0 Flash Experimental. The reason why I use Gemini 1.5 Pro is really simple. Is because it's cheap. It's really the cheapest right now. I know right now it's January 27th. Big news came out today about DeepSeek. It's a Chinese AI company that somehow generated a model at the same level of performance according to the mass market as O1 Preview, which costs like billions of dollars to produce the O1 model. And then somehow apparently this company, DeepSeek, I'm not sure their parent company, but DeepSeek, the makers of DeepSeek somehow made this AI for $6 million. I'm not sure if that's any good, but I'll definitely be experimenting with that in this model, in this equity research report. So I'm going to be using like any AI available. I'm kind of agnostic to which model that I use. I don't really care as long as the report and the output it provides value and insight. Really, that's my main thing. At the cheapest possible cost, right? It's a cost benefit thing. I'm not gonna overpay to get the same, like a similar report, like that's 5% better, and pay triple the price for it. Like that just doesn't make sense from an investment standpoint. Right. But yeah, so let's look at over the report. So this initial part, this business description, I think this one is actually not AI generated. This one is straight from like a Yahoo Finance. They have a long business description. So you could kind of just pull that, and it's just a summary of what the company is. But yeah, let's kind of generate Actually, I'll show you, like, we'll go through the sections and then I'll show you. Actually, let's just run this. But basically right now what you're looking at is a just a code snip. It's just a quick little for loop that basically goes through a ticker list. But yeah, so I'll show you what that looks like. So I'll print out the ticker list. And how many tickers are available. But basically what I'm feeding this model in some sections is from web scrape data. And that web scrape data is kind of a little bit curated by me and then filtered using pandas into the specific prompts. And then that way the prompts are using like a pseudo kind of RAG, but it's like RAG, but it basically gives the large language model more up-to-date information. Some of some of the tickers don't have like a full data, like all the data, right? Because like just the web scrape wasn't good enough, or like the data was just not available. But yeah, so I'm for ticker in the ticker list, which we're gonna see how many tickers there are. Use this, just generate a research report, right? And the research report right now, so I've been experimenting with different sections. So right now I have a business description, news, and then I also have an industry summary, and then I had a competitor summary in some of these. I think this might be like an older report that I generated, but the next 5 reports that I'm about to generate will all have like a competitor summary, and that's based off of like a data frame that I feed it from my data set that I web scrape. But yeah, let's go ahead and run this code. But yeah, you'll see right here. So right now, let's take a look at how many tickers there are. You're seeing just like all the tickers. Maybe I should have done that, but there's 9,634 tickers available. These tickers were from the Vanguard investment universe. So I took 4 different Vanguard funds that trade in Canada: VFV, which is pretty much like a VOO wrapper; VEE, which is an emerging markets ETF; VIU, which is a developed markets ETF excluding North America; and then also VCN, which is just like a total, like a all Canada total market index. But yeah, so I took all the stocks that those 4 ETFs invest in. I made a list and then scrape data for those lists. So right now I have like 9,634 tickers available. This ticker list isn't even comprehensive. Like sometimes with the data pool and the amount of data that I get, like the data just doesn't come. Just like the data scrape has some problems that I'm trying to kind of patch up, but I just wanted to show you what like I do have a lot of information here. But yeah, I've kind of refactored the code. Right now it's kind of running. So the way that, okay, you've seen one come up. So one of the 5 stocks, or one of the 5 tickers, was like this cost report. But yeah, right now I'm caching. I'll show you what some of the prompts. Reveal in Finder, review. Oh, that's not it. Excuse me. You go here. Reveal in Finder, LLM history. Open LLM history. Yeah, I swear. I also told my manager that at some point I'm going to like figure out a way to make these videos shorter, but right now it's kind of like rando. It's kind of just like not very structured. But yeah, let's go over. So right now I'm collecting model, prompt, and response pairs. So I'll show you what the latest prompts kind of look like. Let me make this bigger. The other thing that I have to work on is this really, really annoying problem with Mac, where you can't see the entire, like you can't have what do you call it? You can't have the, what do you call this? You can't have the alt codes. It's so annoying. Like, I'm new to Mac, but it's something that really bothers me actually, is not having any of the shortcuts that you usually have on a Windows PC. But yeah, so what I'm collecting here, this is eventually going to be on SQLite. So that's going to be what I'm working on for the next 24 hours, is trying to refactor my code such that I upload directly to a database rather than an Excel spreadsheet. That's something that you'll see tomorrow. The reason why I'm doing this is for reinforced learning with human feedback. But right now, so for example, this is the prompt and this is the response, right? So you're comparing cron with the ticker cron. I have a data frame containing detailed company information and financial metrics. So within the prompt, I do feed it like a data frame. Unfortunately, the data frame here is actually cut off. So this data frame, I have to fix pandas, right? Yeah, like how many tickers is that? Like, that's interesting. But yeah, so I still have to experiment with how I'm feeding data into these. But yeah, so this analysis examines a selection of 421 companies. It goes through can everybody see that? Like, I don't know if people could see this. Like, let me see if I could zoom in here. No, I can't actually zoom in. That's so annoying with this. But yeah, so let me just zoom in here maybe. Okay, I'm zooming in, but is it getting any bigger? No. That's unfortunate. But yeah, so okay. But yeah, this is like the prompt, and then this is what the output is. Essentially, the reason why I'm collecting all of this is because I'm eventually going to be using reinforced learning with human feedback to improve the performance of the large language model. Right now, I'm kind of implementing pseudo RAG. Eventually, it is going to be RAG. I'm applying search functionality, and that's already pretty good. And then the next piece is probably going to be fine tuning, and I'm going to show you like the fine tuning data set for Gemini, right? That's kind of, it's actually really easy to fine tune the Gemini model because they have a UI for it. But essentially, all you're feeding it is input and output pairs. In this specific case, it's just figuring out numbers in a sequence, right? Like, AI doesn't know math, so you kind of have to teach it the same way like you would a human. But yeah, it's just getting like a text input and an input-output pairs, essentially. And and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be generating a prompt, looking at the response, editing the response, and then marking it with like a 1 or 0. A 1's good and a 0's bad, and then I'll filter for all the 1s, and then those will be my input-output pairs for the fine-tuning data set. I'm going to try to collect about 200. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been working on. Over the next couple days, I'm going to be working on pretty much putting that into a data set or into a database that I can easily just pull. I'm going to be using SQLite for that. Eventually, I'm going to migrate from SQLite to probably MySQL, and then, run it on AWS. But yeah, okay, so let's take a look at the report. Again, this section of the report is, I think this is not actually AI generated. It's from Yahoo Finance. The reason why I did that is to just be cheap and save some tokens. But yeah, so this initial one, not AI generated. Let's go look at the news. Right? So this is one of those, I think this is one that's AI generated, or that I just generated. Let's just open a new one. You can tell it's green. That means it's new. But yeah, so the business subscription, this is, we're looking at Reviva Pharmaceuticals. Where does this trade in? This trades in the United States. It's a biopharma company, discovers and develops, commercializes next-gen therapeutics for diseases targeting unmet medical needs in the areas of central nervous systems and whatnot. But yeah, so this part of the code is using a large language model, Gemini 2.0 Flash experimental with search. And the way it's using search is through an SDK. This is like when I look through these reports, straight away, I'm looking at where I need to fine tune the model, right? Okay, here's a summary of the relevant news for Reviva Pharmaceuticals. When I feed the fine-tuned model input and output pairs, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pretty much fine-tune this out. Like, I don't like this. I'm going to just, when I feed it the input-output pairs, I'm just going to remove this right away. Even this part of the section, it could be reduced. So when I feed it the input-output pairs, it'll just be today's date, Monday, January 27, 2025, right? But I'm pretty much just gonna go through and determine what parts of the sections are verbose. Like for example, here's a breakdown of from the past year, organized in requested timeframes. Like even this part of the part of it, I'm going to remove from the training data set. I'm going to have this today. For this specific company, there's no news. Over the last week, there isn't specific news, but it's noted that the week 04 is the current week according to one source. I don't know what the heck that means. So stuff like this has to be removed from the data set, right? This is not a good explanation. This is not a good example. Reviva on January 7, 2025, Reviva announced its participation in the Lytham Partners 2025 Investor Healthcare Summit. And then December 16th, Reviva announced the pricing of 18 million public offering of common stock and warrants. 12 million shares of common stock at 1.5 per share. This kind of looks like a penny stock. But yeah, so you kind of see like, okay, what happened over the last day, what happened over the last week, last month, last quarter, and then last year. And that's kind of what how the news is summarized. But yeah, like some of these sections, I'll have to identify what I like, what I don't like. Stuff like this. Please note the summary is based on info provided in the search results. Some sources may have overlapping info. Like stuff like this, like the anecdotes or the disclaimers and whatnot, I'll just fine tune that out of the model as well. But yeah, industry summary. This one is generated with 1.5 Pro, Gemini 1.5 Pro. That's kind of just like their flagship model right now. I don't know if they've released 2.0, but I haven't really used it. The industry summary. The United States leads the world in biotech, boasting a robust industry driven by strong government support, substantial private investment, and world-class research institutions. Key aspects of the industry: pharma and therapeutics, ag, biotech, industrial biotech, diagnostics and genomics, synthetic biology, regulation, investment and funding challenges. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on there. And then you get a comparables based valuation. This is kind of like a work in progress as well. You could see like the provided data set lacks detailed information on business activities and geographic location for individual companies, hindering a deep dive into the specific competitive landscape or regional dynamics. So stuff like that has to be part of the comps-based valuation. Like it doesn't make sense to compare one pharma company in company A and then company B, which has completely different regulations, completely different infrastructure, and just comparing their PEs, like that doesn't really make sense. So this Gemini does have a point here. And I'll figure out how to feed the data better, right? As you saw earlier in the Excel file, the input-output pair, the input had a data frame that was concatenated. Like it wasn't the full data set. Like, how do you call that? Not truncated, but like, chopped in half, and then like the middle of it was just 3 dots. That has to be fixed with pandas, right? But yeah, now this is kind of like what it looks like. Let's take a look at another one. I think I generated an NVIDIA one earlier today. Let's take a look at that one. But yeah, same thing again here. Eventually, like all the business descriptions will definitely be AI generated. It's just right now I'm trying to save some money for some reason. I don't know why I'm so cheap with that. But yeah, so again, okay, here's a summary of the news related to NVIDIA. This has to be fine-tuned out, and also I like this format, right? I like this format versus the latter format, or the former format, or the prior format, which had like, it was kind of verbose. This one's pretty clear, right? I still want this removed. And then summary of NVIDIA news. So as of today, so the 27th, it appears that NVIDIA was very volatile with a significant drop in share price. The primary cause appears to me to be emergence of a new AI model from a Chinese startup called DeepSeek, which is challenging the dominance of US tech companies in the AI space. NVIDIA stock experienced its largest single-day drop since the COVID-19 crash, with shares tumbling nearly 17%. This was triggered by the release of DeepSeek R1's model. I'm probably just gonna like take a look at this report on another video. But yeah, you could see like DeepSeek had a major impact actually, hey? But yeah, now it's going over the comparables based on valuation. Like I think this one too has like problems with the prompt, because just like when I set up the pandas data frame, I probably didn't set like columns equal to max and whatnot. Like it's just like an oversight on my part. But yeah, that's kind of what the report looks like. Woo! That was how long of a video was that? I'm really gonna try to figure out how to cut these down. And maybe try to make them into bite-sized pieces. But yeah, you can see like how the report's coming along. And the reason why I'm kind of generating them en masse, right? Like in this specific video, you saw me like I just made 5 random reports from 5 different tickers that I've never even heard of. Seemingly like they were all pharma stock, Imix Biopharma, Open Preview. The reason why I'm mass producing them is because I can start generating input output pairs for fine tuning a large language model, right? And right now I'm just kind of stuck on the Gemini train. The reason why is really Gemini is not that expensive, honestly. Like right now, is DeepSeek here yet? Did artificial AI, this is my favorite, artificial analysis.ai. They have like this leaderboard. Let's look at the quality index. Oh shoot. Oh my gosh. Okay, DeepSeek. Look at this, right? Okay, the O1 model has a context window of 200K. Like you'll notice that when you feed a LLM a context window, like 200,000 tokens, and ask it for a good output, it never comes up with one. So like really the context window right now of like almost $250,000 is kind of like a waste. But look how much that crap costs. 26.25 per 1 million tokens, whereas DeepSeek is 96 cents per million tokens. With a quality index of 89, almost matching the O1 preview's 90. Unreal, right? And the craziest thing is like you can literally copy this model, paste it on your desktop, and if you have a powerful enough PC, maybe you have like a DGX from Nvidia, you can run the DeepSeek R1 at home. So I don't know what the market's on about with this 17% drop. Over the next couple of days, I might be just like upping my tech weight, probably. But yeah, so right now, that's kind of what I'm going to have to like build an API key for that. Gemini 2.0 Flash experimental is what I use for the search functionality, and that one's $0, right? So obviously at some point it's gonna cost money. I'm also using the Gemini 1.5 Pro, which is like $2.19. But yeah, so once I get the database loaded up, because like it doesn't make sense for me to start generating input output pairs and like prompting LLMs without collecting the results in a database. It just doesn't make sense, right? Once I set up the database infrastructure, I'm going to start trying out DeepSeek, Hyperbol, like DeepSeek R1, O1 preview, Gemini versus 3.5. Like really my favorite right now is 3.5 Sonnet. That's just what I noticed. Like when I compare like a 4.0 versus a 1, like a 3.5 Sonnet blank from just like just like blinded, like blind trials. I just like 3.5 the most is what I noticed. With Llama 3.1 being the worst. I don't know. Maybe I just have to. Yeah, that's just how I found it. But yeah, this video almost hit 30 minutes. Tomorrow I'm gonna show like how I'm collecting my input output pairs. But yeah, please like and subscribe. Until next time, bye.